Now, imagine coming home after a long day, taking the time to roll a blunt, only for the joint to canoe after a few drags. Firstly, WTF is canoeing. Well, it's a term used to describe the uneven burning of a joint. The blunt burns more on one side than it does on the other. And trust me, this takes the fun out of smoking. And if you're a regular joint roller, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. No one wants to take the time to smoke a joint that only smolders on one end. And when a joint canoes, it results in less satisfying drags, faster burning flowers, and a coarser, denser taste and smell. Overall, joint canoeing is more or less a waste of paper and cannabis flower. And obviously, here at CannaSphere, we never deliver terrible news just for the sake of it. Never that. Here are 3 tips to prevent your joint from canoeing. Tip number 1, properly grind your weed, guys. If your weed is not crushed correctly from the start, then there's very little you can do to correct the canoeing anomaly. Tip number 2, evenly roll your joints. Tightly or loosely packed always burn unevenly. After grinding your herb to get the same size particles, you have to distribute it across the rolling paper evenly, not too tight and not too loose, and all sides have to contain the same amount of plant material. And last but not least, tip number 3, lighting your joint the right way is another major step to avoiding canoeing. Once you light the tip, you have to rotate the joint slowly and ensure the tip is perfectly lit. As soon as this is done, take short little puffs on the joint and keep on spinning. This way, the joint burns at a uniform rate and the weed flowers are not wasted. Avoid taking deep drags immediately after the blunt is lit. It could result in one area burning slower than the other. Now, some of you might just ask yourselves, well, why not just buy a vape? Well, I guess that is an option for all of us, but there's just something so oddly satisfying about rolling one from scratch. Don't you think so, Trenton?
You've talked about prevention, but you haven't talked about cure.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
Not very COVID friendly, but
not very COVID friendly.
Camp on the one side,
especially if you're smoking with people. Trenton.
Yeah, that's true. But it's all about rolling properly in the first place. So let's not be Philistines
100%.
here.